Okay, top five things to know about mediation. Oh, let me get my list. 1, you've got to find a way to manage emotions. I'm not saying that emotions aren't valid, that you shouldn't feel them. The challenge is that in mediation, when you're trying to negotiate and you're trying to come up with answers, to be creative, to do problem solving, emotions can hijack our ability to do that. That they literally hijack our prefrontal cortex. So our amygdala says, no, 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 this is a threat we need to respond to, fight, flight, or freeze. Let's shut down this expensive system that's running to do problem solving. Let's just respond emotionally. And the challenge is that if that's what's happening, the chances of being able to do problem solving creatively and to move forward are reduced. So from my perspective, number 1, find ways to manage emotions. Number 2, get some support. So often when I speak with people, they'll say things like, oh, I've spoken to family and friends, which is great. And that may be enough, but it may not be. And for a lot of the people I work with, their friends and their family love them. They are worried about them. And that means that they're seeing what's happening through a lens, from their own perspective. The benefit of reaching out for professional support is that you have someone who can give you context around what's happening, can help you to put things into perspective, and give you skills and tools to help you move forward. So from my perspective, getting professional support, and that could be getting professional legal support, getting professional mental health support, getting maybe professional financial support to help understand information, but get the support you need to be able to get this done properly. Number 3, reflect on priorities. So again, really important to come into the mediation knowing that you aren't going to achieve 100% of what you want. No one does. That's not really a negotiation or a mediation. That's kind of more a ultimatum. You need to decide, what are my priorities? What is it that I absolutely must try and achieve? And it's generally, I would say, if you put it in big picture terms, it's easier, as opposed to what are the things that I want? What are my preferences for how things should be? That there are things that we might feel are priorities, but actually when you are in the belly of a negotiation, I think sometimes people realize it's a preference. It's not a priority. Actually, this is my priority. And so getting clear on that, reflecting on what your priorities are, reflecting on what it is that you must achieve, that you really need to achieve, much more important for me than my bottom line is X. That I think is really important, that people have some mental space to think about and reflect on their priorities. Number 4, practice. You have to give to get. Now, this is a hard one. I mean, they're all hard, but this is really hard, which is remembering this is a negotiation, that nobody gets something for nothing. And so if someone has been able to meet a need that you have, you're probably going to need to find a way to meet a need they have. And so sometimes when people come into mediation, they struggle with this idea of, this is a negotiation. This isn't, I get what I want or I demand what I want. They don't get anything. They don't get their needs met. And the challenge is, in a negotiation, people don't negotiate like that. If people don't feel they're getting something from the negotiation, they won't do it. So starting to practice that idea of, I need to give them something in order to get something for myself. So obviously, ideally what you're doing is giving the other person something that's of importance to them, but of low value to you, to get something that is of importance to you and of high value to you. So trying to find those packages, those linkages, is really important. And the last one, number 5, this is not forever. I think sometimes because it can feel so overwhelming and because it is so anxiety producing for a lot of people, that it seems as if this mediation, this uncertainty, this chaos is going to go on forever, and it won't. Even if you have tiny, tiny children who you're going to have to co-parent with for another 18 years, this isn't going to last forever. This is not what the rest of your life will be like. So I think it's important to get some perspective on that, to remember that at some stage, this will be your past. That however egregious the behavior of the other person, however personally upset you are by what's happened, this isn't going to be every day of your life. This is a really difficult time. This is a time of challenge and transition, but it is time limited. And so at some stage, you will look back on this, that it will be in your past, hopefully the distant past, and that you'll be able to look back without being re-traumatized. So that I would say are the top 5. So regulate your emotions, get support, whatever that means, reflect on priorities, practice you've got to give to get, remember it's a negotiation, and this is not forever. Okay, thanks for listening. See you next mini map.